Update on using the SIG Flux Raider Legion. Previously reviewed this gun on InRange TV. And during that review, I noted that it only grouped about 3.5 inches at 25 yards, which is acceptable for a handgun, but not really acceptable for a PCC. So I swapped the slide from an X5 Legion, which is not compensated, and it's just a normal 5-inch barrel, versus the 3.9-inch comp slide that it came with. And putting this slide on the Raider increased the accuracy to 2 inches at 25 yards, making it a lot more useful in my opinion. Why is it better accuracy? Not quite sure. Maybe all the tolerances just stacked up to be a little bit tighter and making it more accurate at that distance. I put the slide from the Raider on the Legion pistol frame, and it fits perfectly in the box for Stealth Division. Mounting the red dot directly to the slide improved the accuracy of this gun to 2.5 inches at 25 yards, making it much more useful than it was before. It's interesting that just by swapping the two slides between the frames that both the guns are more accurate than they were before. Maybe this slide's a little bit more loose in its tolerances, and mounting the red dot directly to it improved the accuracy versus it being mounted to the plastic rail on the Raider. Either way, I'm a lot happier with the guns as configured now just by swapping the slides around. I'm interested in using these SIGs for a bit to see how they work and see if I run into any of the problems that other people have reported using them. I know there's a lot of SIG 320s in circulation. The more things that are in circulation, the more problems that are going to be reported inherently. But I don't know if that's a percentage relative to the number of guns overall that's normal versus other models. So the only thing I've changed is I've installed a gas pedal on this, so I have a good thumb indexing point. Don't really use that to drive the gun. It's just a good point to put my thumb on to keep it free and clear of the slide. So I'm going to be using this pistol in Stealth Division for a bit, and I'm going to report back from time to time on how it's working. This is the Rio Salado CQB format match. I'm just going to be using the Raider for the whole event. You could use a PCC, shotgun, and pistol if you wanted to. I did not read the stage description in detail, so I immediately screw up by only shooting the paper twice instead of 3 times as was mandated. So I'm going to get a plus 5-second penalty on every one of the paper targets on this stage. One of the issues I have using the Raider is it has more bore offset than any of my other 9mm PDW type things. It makes it very easy to miss some of these smaller targets at close range. I still find the magazine release location as a left-handed shooter kind of awkward. I think a right-handed shooter would enjoy using this gun more overall for that reason. Slide 1 here to show how fast other people completed the stage. And with my 7 plus 5-second penalties, I'm all the way down here in the bottom at 48th. This stage starts with 2 spinners, so you know I'm going to do a lot better here. Need to get used to ripping open this flap on my drop leg rig for the Raider without looking at it, but that's going to take some practice. Reload on the move, going to the next position. And again, here's where the higher bore offset of the Raider makes it a little more awkward to use. On this second star, I don't shoot it as clean as I normally would, end up chasing the plates a little bit. On these tiny poppers here, I'm going to have some extra shots. Looks like I keep missing off the side. I think I'm canting the gun a little bit reviewing this video. That might also be part of why I'm missing. I almost forget that I have to shoot this activator, and I do shoot the clay out of the air successfully. A lot better on this stage at 12th overall. One thing I'm trying to do is keep my arm completely clear as the brace is deployed on the draw. If I don't keep it clear, it will not lock open all the way. Any amount of friction on it will slow it down. A little bit of difficulty seating that magazine. I've noticed as the magwell gets dirty from carbon buildup, the magazines are harder to insert and remove. Final position here, hammered down the inline plate rack, and these poppers have little 4 to 5 inch squares in front of them, so I'm going to shoot the popper, go down, shoot the little plate back and forth. Slide 1 here so you can see the fastest time on the stage. Bonuses were available for machine gun users sweeping all the popper arrays down, and I'm 19th overall on this stage. Slide 1 here again so you can see the fastest time overall. I end up being 19th out of 53 shooters overall. Not terrible for starting out with so many penalties. This multi-gun CQB format was definitely fun, and I hope they hold another one of these again in the future. This is the October 2024 Phoenix 2 Gun Action Challenge match. The stage begins by engaging that paper target with 2 hits to the head and knocking down a popper at the back. From each of these 3 boxes, the shooter must hit each of 5 static steel targets once and knock down a popper in the rear. And it's going to finish up the same way at the end by engaging a paper target and knocking down another popper. I am using the 320 with the Romeo X Pro mounted on it, and these are my first rounds fired on the clock. I do like the way the gun feels in my hand and how it handles, and we'll see how I feel about it long term over the course of many matches. I am first in stealth and 6th overall in this stage. The rifle stage this month has 4 targets at about 100 yards. You have to shoot from several different positions. I'm using my 13.9 What Would Stoner Do competition rifle with lead and steel Promethean Gen 2. In between each position, there is a target that requires 1 hit on the move. You could support off these tires if you wanted to, but frankly, getting in and out of position for targets this large at this close of a distance is a waste of time for me. If you don't have the marksmanship capabilities to make the hits standing offhand, going supported would make sense, but it's not something that I need to do. Have to shift around here a little bit to get an angle to see one of the targets, but once I see it, I can make the hit easily. On the move again, making hits on that target in the middle. Reload before the last position to make sure I don't shoot empty, and finish out the stage with the fastest time overall. Watching this video, it personally felt slow for me, but going fast on intermediate range stages like this is all about minimizing the number of shots per target. The shooter starts seated on the stage, then has to get up behind the barrel and then draw. The red targets are the shoot targets on this stage. All the white steel are no-shoots. This silhouette must be hit 6 times on the move, moving across the range. Reload on the move so I don't shoot empty. Really appreciate the big magwell on the X5 Legion frame. The tiny triangles on this plate rack are always a challenge, knowing your bore offset, but I end up getting them all down without hitting any of the no-shoots. I am first in stealth and 6th overall in this stage. This is the Zombie Horde stage for Halloween. You have 6 seconds from each position to get as many headshots as possible, then you have to move. Each bonus is worth -5 seconds. From the start position, I've tried to pick the biggest cluster that made it easiest to transition between targets. And then on the end here, I'm again picking a good cluster that's quick transitions from head to head. I end up counting 23 shots fired for 17 successful hits. Given the nature of the stage, there's a lot of ties on it. The most number of bonuses gained was 20, and I was at 17. In the end, I'm first out of 4 shooters in Stealth Division and 3rd out of 52 shooters overall. As I mentioned, I'm going to keep using the SIG 320s for a while before I have a fully formed opinion on them, but I'm going to keep doing that over the course of the next 6 to 12 months at a number of action shooting venues. If you like this kind of in-depth competition shooting match analysis, please consider supporting me directly on Patreon. And always remember, the Second Amendment is for everyone.